2002 through 2006 Honda CR-V with the 2.4 liter engine, valve cover replacement. I'm Brian Essick from How to Automotive. I'm going to walk you through the steps for replacing that. We're going to get started by removing the top engine cover. You're going to need a 10mm socket, and I'm going to use my Milwaukee M18 fuel to help make this process go faster. So you go ahead and remove the top cover. After that, you're going to remove the cover that's covering up the ignition coils here. So there's 4 10mm screws you're going to remove. Then you'll lift the cover off and set aside. Now we're going to remove the 4 10mm bolts holding the coils down. After that, we're going to unplug the coils by squeezing the tabs and pulling the connectors off, all 4 of them. And you're going to set the coils in order on your bench and just lay them out the way you took them out. Now we need to remove the 10mm bolt here that's holding the power steering hose on. To make quick work of that, I'm going to use my Milwaukee M12 3/8 drive ratchet here. It's great for doing these type of jobs. I'll switch back and forth between the ratchet and the impact gun on this type of work. Now with a flat blade screwdriver or a long pry bar, you can pry the little wire harness loom up here, and you're just going to flip it up and push it back behind the valve cover. So when you get the wire loom pushed back, it's going to look like this. After that, what we're going to do is right here, the little vent that goes onto the air cleaner, we're going to take the hose clamp off. And then what I like to do is take the bolts that hold the air cleaner down and just push the air cleaner assembly over about a 1/4 inch or so, and that'll clear the hose from the valve cover. So the air box, you're going to need an 8mm socket. And once again, I'm going to use my Milwaukee M18 fuel here to make quick work of this. I'll leave a link in the description of the video for this impact gun and also for the ratchet that I use. These 2 tools make life a lot easier, and I would highly recommend you put these in your collection. Once you get it unbolted, you can just lift it up and push it over a little bit, just enough to clear the valve cover. That's it. Now we're going to take the cruise control cables here and pop them out of the little brackets. So you'll follow it around and just pop them out of the little holders like this and kind of pull it back and tuck it out of your way. So this car has a lot of dirt and debris all around the valve cover here. So what I'm going to do is take my little air blower and blow a little compressed air around here and kind of blow out some of this dirt and debris, so that way when I take the cover off, it doesn't fall inside. After that, you can pull out the dipstick and set it aside. Now we're going to start removing the mounting nuts, grommets, and washers. So you're just going to follow the valve cover around, and once again I'm going to use my my Milwaukee 3/8 drive impact gun. Once you get the nut removed, you're going to use a little flat blade screwdriver or a little pry bar like this. You want to pop up the rubber grommet and metal washer and pop those off. So you'll pop all 7 of the washers and rubber grommets off after you remove the nuts. Once you get all the nuts and grommets all removed, then you're going to take a little pry bar or a flat blade screwdriver and find yourself a little corner like this and kind of give it a little twist and pry and pop the valve cover up. And once you get it popped up and worked all the way around, and you can just flip all the hoses up and out of your way, and you can lift the valve cover up and pull it out. I also found that sometimes if you pull the power steering line, actually, instead of pushing it away like this, if you pull the hose towards you, it gives you just a little bit more clearance, and then you can pop it out. So now that you got the cover off, we're going to clean up all the surfaces, and also we're going to change these seals out here. If these seals are leaking, this tube will fill up with oil, and your spark plug will be submerged in oil, and you'll need to clean that out. So I'll show you how I do clean that out. Mine are actually dry on this one, but what I do is I lay rags around like this, just allowing the port to stick out like this. Then I take a little bit of brake clean and parts cleaner, and I'll spray it down into the tube here. You want to use a good quality brake clean, and spray it down in the tube like this and fill it up with brake clean. And once you got a good amount of the brake clean sprayed in there, I let it soak and sit a little bit. Then I'll take some compressed air and put a rag over the tube and blow it out. So I'll lay a rag down, and I'll put the air blower in there, and I'll cover up the nipple with the rag. That way when you blow the air out, it doesn't blow back into your face, so it catches it in the rag. And then after that, what I'll do is I'll take the rag and stuff it down the hole as far as I can. Maybe use a screwdriver like this and push it in there and soak up all that oil. And you may have to do this 2 or 3 times on each one of the tubes. So once you got one cleaned out, just go ahead and do all 4 of them. Now we're going to clean the mating surface of the cylinder head. There may be some old silicone. If there is, you're going to use a razor blade and scrape it off, especially up here on the front where the timing cover mounts. So you want to make sure you scrape off all the old silicone and get the whole surface clean. And when you're cleaning this, you want to make sure that when you don't wipe the dirt and debris into the engine. You want to wipe kind of away or towards you, so it doesn't fall into the engine. And I like to spray a little bit of the brake clean parts cleaner on the rag and then wipe the edge of the cylinder head down. And so take your time to really get this really clean. The cleaner this surface is, the more likely you'll have a good quality seal without any leaks. So after getting the cylinder head mating surface cleaned up, now we're going to clean up the actual valve cover here. And first we're going to pick out the old gasket. So you're just going to grab it and just pull it up. You may have to use a little pick or a hook tool, and you're going to pull the old gasket out and toss it in the trash. To get the tube seals out, what I use is a flat blade screwdriver like this, and I'll take a little hammer and I'll tap it down in between the seal and the valve cover here, and then I'll pry over and then pop it up like this. So I'll go ahead and remove all 4 of them. Now that all the old parts are stripped off of the valve cover, I'm going to wash it up really well, and I'm going to actually take it over and have it pressure washed. If you have access to a pressure washer, that's a great way to clean these, or you can use your shop solvent tank. So I'm going to be using a Felpro gasket here. This is a complete kit. I'll have the parts linked in the description also. So this kit includes the new gasket, the tube seals, and it also comes with the coils have a little seal on the end of it. So we're going to change those out too. So those seals are right here on the end of this coil. So you'll pop that out and then change the new seal on, or install the new seal onto the coil. So this is a tube seal. It has the beveled edge. So what we're going to do is just line it up with the valve cover here, and you can just push them in by hand. So you'll use your thumbs and work them around and just push them in until they're fully seated into the valve cover, just like that. And we'll do that for all 4. After that, we'll pop off the coil boot here, and then we'll install the new gasket onto the coil. For a little added protection against leaks, I like to use a little bit of black silicone made by Right Stuff or made by Permatex. So what we do is we put a little dab right here where the timing cover meets the cylinder head, and we'll put a dab of silicone here, and then we'll put a little dab of silicone on the opposite side. And you don't need a lot of silicone, just a small little dollop like this will do, and you can spread it out with your fingers. And then after that, you can take the Right Stuff, and on the back of the cylinder head there's a little cam lobe. So we're going to put a little bit of silicones in the corners of the cam lobes here. Now we're just going to push off any of the wire loom or hoses that may have fallen back in the over the cylinder head and push them out of our way. Now we can take the valve cover here and maneuver the hoses around however you need to do it, and work the valve cover in and lower it down into position. Once you get it in there, it takes a little twisting and a little angling to get it to go in, but it will fit. Then you drop it down. So then the next step, what I do is double check that the gasket didn't fall off. So you can either stick your hand back there and kind of lift it up, or what I like to do is I like to get a dental mirror, and then we use the dental mirror to look around, and I check it all the way around the valve cover to make sure that gasket did not fall off in the process of installing it. This is a step you definitely do not want to skip. You want to take your time and make sure it's not falling in or falling off. After that, you can take the new grommets with the washers and install those on. And then you can take your little acorn nuts, install those. And then I like to use a 10mm socket and an extension and a 1/4" ratchet. And I like to run them down until they're nice and snug. So I'll do this one here in the middle first. And then what I'll do is I'll cross over to the opposite side of the valve cover like this and tighten that up, and then keep going in these crisscross patterns, tightening the bolts down until they all go down until they bottom out, and then about a 1/4 turn more so. So this is demonstrating here, and that's as tight as you need to make them. So you go down to the bottom out, and then you'll give it about a quarter turn or so more like that, and you'll feel the gasket kind of crush down and go into place. So you'll do that for all of the mounting bolts. So I'll make a couple passes at tightening these down. So I'll do a couple, like 2 or 3 rounds of doing it. And I recommend you do the same thing. That way you get a nice even torque down. Now we can take the wire loom here and go ahead and flip it back into position over the little mounting studs here. Like this. Make sure you get both corners. Then you can take the mounting bracket for the hose, resecure that. I'm going to use my M12 here to tighten it back up, speed things back up. Now we can take our coils, reinstall the coils down into the cylinder, and then we can plug in the electrical connectors for all 4 of the coils. Then you can take the mounting bolts and resecure them. 2 of the bolts for the coils are longer, so you want to install the long one on cylinder number 2 and cylinder number 4 right here. Go ahead and tighten those down, and the 2 shorter ones go 1 on 3. The longer bolts with the studs on the end are for the cover. The cover goes over those studs, and you bolt it to those. So go ahead and run those down until they're snug. Now, if you guys don't have a Milwaukee M12 ratchet like this, you guys are missing out. These are really valuable in making jobs like this faster. So after you get that resecured, now you can go ahead and install the dipstick. And then after that, we're going to install the top cover here that went over the coils here. Install the 4 screws and tighten those down. And then we're going to put the vent line back on the valve cover, resecure the airbox lid back down by tightening up all the screws. Then you're going to take the cruise control cables and reposition them back into their mounting brackets like this, and make sure they're clipped in there. And then after that, what we're going to do is take the top engine cover here, and we're going to position it over the valve cover like this, tighten the 2 mounting screws up, and that'll complete the job of replacing the valve cover gasket on a 2002 through 2006 Honda CR-V with the 2.4 liter engine. I will link up all the parts and tools that I use in this video in the description. I'm Brian Essick from How to Automotive. I'd like to thank you guys for watching my videos, encourage you to subscribe, invite you to head over to the howtoautomotive.com website for more valuable videos like this, and I'd like to thank you again for watching.